Such a presentation. What to say after that? But one thing I was thinking once I was sitting there. First, my apologies for my English. It's not from the same side of America as him. I'm from Uruguay, which is a little bit south in America, and so I was thinking, okay, what I thought I will not say enough. No, that I will say about something else. Because one thing that happens many times, or I hear when I see his work, or other colleagues, or designers, or people working in this field, it's like, yeah, but he can do it because he's David Carson. And that's something that maybe I didn't thought when I started working. When I was in high school or something like that, they ask, what do you want to do? And I say, yeah, I want to be a graphic designer. And people say, what is that? And they start laughing at my partners, and I was quite young, and so then I started studying and looking at the pictures, like Warhol said, just looking. So then I started working in design, following the rules, snapping to guide, doing all that thing, making brands, and I had nice experiences doing brands for countries, everything like that. That it was super, I don't know, Germany for all the world. They're super nice. It's enough to chat, to greet. Sorry. So then I arrived to his book, 97 or something like, and I look at it. Oh, interesting, nice guy. He can do it. Yeah, but he's from the States. He can do it. He has support for sure. I would never do things like that. So I keep snapping to greet, learning about rules, and I love it. Yeah, come on. So then I start like having doubts. And I say, okay, what's happened if I read the book that he made? And I read the book of him. I'm trying to connect with him. I read other books too. And Yellow Pages too, and other books. And I arrived to, okay, I can quit. I can quit my job. I can quit my design for big companies doing logos and identity programs and things like that. That is, I'm proud of that stage. So then I start saying, okay, maybe the graphic design can be a tool for me to do things. I am used to do presentation for clients. So then I start thinking, oh, what I'm doing with this presentation, what I'm selling, what I'm proposing, what I'm communicating, why I cannot be the client. So then I start doing projects that I start taking advantage of design as a tool for communicating things that maybe they were quite difficult. Like, for example, ask for a cinema to do activities or to show, I don't know, the weird things like art in ordinary cinemas, or to make a party in a train, and while the train is moving, and to use that. But I use design to the process. So I took design as a tool for doing production of my own projects. I did several things, using the town as a canvas, as a place to work. So then design was a kind of tool. It stopped being I have to find the freedom in a white page and sitting behind my computer or my papers. Okay, I lost the papers, so I would say what. Okay, and no, it's okay. So instead of finding the freedom in that white page that I find myself quite isolated, I started working with town, with city, with people, and using design as a tool. So then anyway, people was a little bit out. I was doing things like showing Cream Master in a cinema, ordinary cinema. You pay the ticket and then you have that movie. It was quite enough interesting things. But anyway, I wasn't still on the understanding what design was still being part of something divided from the activity. So then the activity becomes more like a hobby. So I keep thinking, and then I was in in 2009, I say, okay, I will invite this guy again, and I invite him to go to Uruguay. And that was a kind of end of a process where design first was the ending, then was a tool for doing things, and then I say, okay, I will integrate design and the user and the production and to know the processes and to do something else. So then I invite him at closest stage in my life, and I start moving around to work in other countries where the language was a barrier. So then I moved to the Basque country, and I did some work for the Ministry of Health, basically, and also things more cultural, because many things that he shows, the field of music or surf, or has it's opened more chances than other fields. But as I came from branding, I had tools to do things for institutions that they were more tied up to play with communication, to understand what we are saying. So then, anyway, I moved to Finland, so imagine. The language was a barrier, so I start understanding communication in another way. This is quite boring, but I will go to just one example, because what his show was a lot. So then after Korea that you mentioned, I was exhibiting there in a Biennale, and I met an Norwegian. Okay, the next stage in life, which is to include love to what I do, and that for me was super nice. I was saying many things that they were super theoretical, but I forgot like my feet's on the ground. So then I imply now myself in my works. I imply the audience, the production. Sometimes many people invest money in printing things, and I say, but what we are saying, let's save the money, let's make a barbecue, and let's do it in another way. So then now I'm try to be part with the client, be friend. For example, before I did many tennis tournaments, so in that factory of event, I learned a lot of how to imply with. So then at the end, I finished training in the cards, preparing the field, and that understanding of the huge picture helped me to now be able to do things and choosing to who. But that doesn't mean, okay, I will say no to everyone, but that means if I try to see myself in what I'm trying to say also. So then I will put just one example. That is a project that it's the only one that I have in Norwegian that I can explain. So how to make this, but let's try. So this is some people arrive and ask me to do a visual profile of a workshop of wood and bikes. So showing wooden bikes, and they do it in Tøyen. They want to open that space in Tøyen. I live in Tøyen now, so it was my neighborhood, and I say, okay, I will do it. It doesn't matter. So then let's see how much you have, I say. I push in that. They don't say too much in that. But we arrive to a position that I can drive. So then I say, okay, let's talk about brand. I will put the example quite fast, so because you saw a lot of things, and so. But this is kind of for me a condensation of how another person can also be after that lecture. So I proposed them to make a brand, and this was the presentation they received. And the paper is here. You can see it if you want. So I use what I have to work, and so then I proposed to do this icon or things like that. You can see here. And that icon is made by Potato Stamp, which is kind of iconic, the potato here, and I find it quite interesting to that everything in detail is the printing doesn't matter. So then the visual profile was based in do-it-yourself in the Potato Stamp in colors that they are in the material, so there's no need to print yellow if the paper is already yellow. And then this idea of generating inventions that they mix the bike and the wood that they are working in. Then the brand always vertical, and then to make fonts collaborative with the people. So then the idea was to do to show that do it yourself in the communication. So then these are examples of things that they can be done. So then they have the space. So I say, okay, let's take that space. Let's say that this exists. Let's put some colors in it, some attitude, and let's appropriate the place. But let's don't do it in the computer. Let's do it for the place and with the people. So then what I proposed was to make they have a workshop of bikes and a workshop of furniture, but I proposed to make a workshop of graphic design or something like to be there in the place and to do graphic stuff with the people that drop by. So then we have the materials done with the people that is the user of the workshop. So we did that. So then with the people we did inventions, joining those two, typography. That the idea was to see how much we can play with the idea of legibility. If a font can be, which is the border that we can arrive, and then names. Can we change the name of this place, because it's super difficult to say it for me at least. So can we put another name, and so to play with the idea of name. So then the identity is more like the user of the space is part of it. So then this project gave a lot of freedom in the sense of that I didn't know what's going on in many cases. So what we did was a structure that graphic design was part of to arrive to things that then we will see. So then this is the potato that I was talking about. So yeah. It was difficult to put a potato in Facebook in every single page, so we did something more also graphic, for example. And then in relation with the place, here in Norway to produce things is super expensive. It's crazy expensive, it's nonsense. So then I say, okay, let's do it. Let's do it ourselves. Let's find the right material. There should be something yellow. So we went and we looked. Oh, okay, that black thing is yellow, and it's I don't know, a fabric for the table or something like that. And in Påske, here everything is yellow, so it was super good, because to talk about this workshop situation with those colors of workshop was the right moment. So then we bought everything that was yellow, that was super cheap, and the project turned around, something that was completely impossible to do because they didn't have the money. We resolved it with some tush, some markers, and some, how do you call it? Some beers. So then we did those appropriation of the windows, and then, okay, this is more or less the windows, how they look. They are all handmade, and in a night, some music, and showing the situation. And this was a kind of examples for them in the workshop. This is the part of the bike workshops. And then in there, we put a place where the people will draw. We also, in that appropriation, we paint the place in yellow, which is still there. So it's a kind of memory also for those who enjoy a lot. So now they have that kind of icon of, I don't know if they fall in love there for some reason, that is a kind of reminder, for example. So then the signs, they were done with what they have. They have those signs from before. We just put the brand, or we just put communicating what's going on, like I don't know what it says in Norwegian there, but they do it yourself and fix the bike. I should improve my Norwegian, at least for presentations. So then in the Stille was an area, so the science was done in the moment, so people help us to put the things there. And they used the color, and that was something nice. The people from the workshop, they understood that with the color code they can generate identity, and they can develop an idea of belonging, super easy. So then they were dressed in yellow, and they were doing things by their own, like balloons or things that I didn't say, let's do this or not, but they appropriate the thing. So that's something that for me was interesting. I will go fast so you can go work. One thing that maybe I forgot to mention is, for me, the most important part in my career was when I quit. I think when I quit is when I start driving. And but anyway, then we did this activity, so it was not just for kids, it was different ages, so they can, with those stamps, we made letters, so then they can appropriate things. And then in the workshop we did somehow letters, nothing more than letters. And what to say, they ask, and let's try to play. So people was doing letters. We did some stickers for clothes to identify. So then we hang them there. I don't know, they are here, these things. You can check if you want or not. And we hang them there, so the people that was doing those posters with no meaning somehow, or yes, but the meaning was, I'm here. That was the aim of that. They arrived to this thing. And now what we have is so many options to work with for future activities. So the part of the project, or the idea, was to all these topics, but also to have materials for them for future, because we can do it all together. And so then this is result, that this is these things. That, as you can see, it's just to add I don't know, a venue or something. And I will never do this kind of so nice posters, I think. But they are there, so it's a kind of ready-made. And and we did it together, and we are proud. And the first big person I will say is the kid. I remember every kid, and if I can, I will go. And if I make a poster, I go and say, "Oh, look at this." And first, I will ask for permission if they want to do it or not. All of them, they say, "Yeah, come on. This is our neighborhood. We are proud of it." So, like this kid teaching to her mother that the egg can be more big, and like to mix two eggs, because when you say you can say and yeah, and this is his result. And he was exploring here, and then he arrived to this double A. So maybe here that there's not too many vowels, you can add this one too. And so this is result. But so then, as a conclusion of the next step was to use that information and to start doing things for next activities. So then we are all proud. The kids that they did it, we have a lot of tools to do things. So then this is, for example, posters that they came from there. So more or less, I will not take your time. You have to work or to quit. But yeah, that takes time too. So mostly I was just going to show that I don't think just David Carson can say the thing that he say and do it. I don't know. At least I try to follow some things that he said. Some things not at all. And also another resources, and also my back, as he said. I think, yeah, my conclusion is there's no conclusion, so good morning.